From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, November the 14th, 2024. The IDF announced the identity of the sixth Israeli soldier killed yesterday in Lebanon. He was named as 19-year-old Sergeant Yoav Daniel, killed with 5 other Israeli troops, as we reported to you yesterday, battling terror group Hezbollah. And that battle continues with Israeli troops eliminating Hezbollah terrorists and destroying terror structure of Hezbollah, who continues to fire rockets at Israel, today with rocket barrages at northern Israel, including the Galilee, and also at the center of Haifa and its surrounding suburbs. The IDF said most of those rockets were intercepted. The IDF continues to respond to the attacks, writing today that Israeli fighter jets hit several targets in Beirut, in which they attacked weapons warehouses, military headquarters, and other infrastructures used by Hezbollah. The IDF noting that all of the targets were located by Hezbollah in the heart of the civilian population. Another example, the IDF said, of Hezbollah's cynical use of Lebanese citizens as human shields. The IDF saying it took many steps to reduce the chance of harming civilians, including advanced evacuation warnings. And the IDF continues battling terror group Hamas in Gaza, eliminating terrorists and destroying terror infrastructure there, including last night, it said, targeting a rocket launcher that Hamas placed aimed toward Israelis in the humanitarian area in Gaza, noting as well that prior to the strike, numerous steps were taken to mitigate the risk of harming civilians, including numerous advanced warnings, and noting once again how Hamas uses Gaza's civilians as human shields. The IDF said later today that Israeli fighter jets hit several military buildings and headquarters of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist organization in Syria, saying this attack constitutes a significant damage to the organization's headquarters and its operatives, saying the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization, led by its leaders who live outside the Gaza Strip, carried out the murderous attack alongside Hamas on the 7th of October and has been carrying out terrorist acts against the State of Israel ever since. And that in the current fighting in southern Lebanon, the organization is assisting Hezbollah with the aim of harming the State of Israel. The IDF stressing all of this with a clear Iranian intention, as the organization is another branch of Iran in the Middle East and sits in Syria under the auspices of the Syrian regime, vowing the IDF will continue to act against the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization wherever it is required to do so. Earlier today, Israel's Air Force intercepted a drone over Syrian skies before it crossed into Israeli territory. The IDF noting this is the second UAV that was launched from the east and was successfully intercepted by the Air Force in the skies of Syria in the last few hours. Well, turning now to Washington, where U.S. President Joe Biden met yesterday with the families of American Israeli hostages, who are among the 101 hostages still being held by Hamas in Gaza now for 405 days. The White House said the president provided an update to the families on U.S. efforts to secure the release of all hostages and reaffirmed the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to getting the hostages home to their loved ones and families, saying the administration has worked tirelessly to get a deal done as soon as possible to bring the hostages home. And the president also assured the families those efforts will continue. The families met with U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan earlier this week, urging the Biden administration to work with Donald Trump's transition team in efforts to secure a hostage deal before the end of Biden's term. And Sullivan told a press briefing yesterday that he told the families, yes, of course, We are prepared to work with the incoming team in common cause on a bipartisan basis to do everything in our collective American power to secure the release of the hostages, both living and deceased. And those efforts were believed to have been among the issues discussed when President Biden hosted the president-elect at the White House yesterday. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, November the 14th at 7 o'clock, Bishop Robert Stearns joins Rabbi Avraham Bronstein to discuss Rise and Rebuild, his book that offers readers spiritual guidance and empowering lessons to access strength to overcome adversity. At 7:30, Shai Held discusses his book, The Meaning of Judaism is Love. At 8, Jonah Platt speaks with food writer, cookbook author, and judge on Bravo's Emmy-winning series Top Chef, Gail Simmons. At 9, it's Gil Hovav on L'chaim. At 10, a replay of Bishop Robert Stearns. At 10:30, an encore of the news. And coming up next, Uri Dromi, CEO and founder of the Jerusalem Press Club, discusses the changing landscape of the international media's coverage of Israel with Shahar Azani. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, November the 14th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. I will be away tomorrow, Friday, but back with the JBS News Update on Monday. Wishing you an early Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael Chai.